Yeah, okay. I hope the screen is visible. Now, as mentioned in the last class itself, today we'll be talking about this new concept called networking fundamentals. This is one of the prerequisites required for cybersecurity. As a cybersecurity professional, when we work with various system logs, one key factor that you would keep observing are IP addresses, basically identification of these various devices. So understanding what these IP addresses are, understanding what these various networking protocols are, is very crucial, I would say, for the domain of cybersecurity. And that's what we'll be covering in this topic, networking fundamentals. Okay. Now, when you talk about the networking fundamentals, there are three important definitions to what is networking, what are networks, and what are hosts. Okay. When you talk about networking, this is the practice of connecting information devices with each other. So in an organization, you have various sorts of devices, routers, firewalls, switches, client operating system devices, servers, etc., etc. So the process of connecting each of these devices with one another so that they can share information and again resources is called as networking. Now, when you have that collection of devices interconnected with each other, that entire collection is called as network. And each of the individual devices in that network is called as a host. Again, as mentioned, computers, routers, printers, mobile phones, firewalls, any information device, any individual information system is known as a host. Okay. Now, just like how we humans communicate with each other and we have our respective names to address each other, these devices also have their names or identification. That name is called as an IP address. It stands for Internet Protocol Address. Okay. So to define an IP address, each host on the network has a unique identifier. And that unique identifier allows these devices to communicate with each other. Again, that is called as an IP address. Okay. And this IP address that I'm referring to right now currently is IPv4. There were multiple versions of it earlier. There was IP version 1, IP version 2, IP version 3. They were experimental. They didn't work out successfully. What properly panned out was IPv4, Internet Protocol version 4. Okay. And we're still using these IPv4 addresses even in today's world. Although I would say they were invented in around 1950s or so. Again, we're still using them and they're still valid in today's world. 1 second. I think I'm getting a call from the institute itself. Just a second. Right. Apologies for that. So as mentioned, when we talk about IPv4 addresses, there are a few important properties to it. Firstly, this IPv4 address is a 32-bit address. Now, what I mean by 32-bit is that it contains 32 zeros and ones. A bit is the smallest data value a computer can hold, and it is always either the value of 0 or to the value of 1. Okay. And your IPv4 address is a 32-bit address. It contains 32 zeros and ones consecutively. Okay. And this entire 32-bit address is not one sequential address. It's again divided in 4 equal parts. Okay. So there are 4 octets, which I would call as, again, each of these parts is called as an octet because it contains 8 bits in it. And 8 fours are 32 bits in total. Okay. And each of these octets is separated by a dot symbol. So this is what your IPv4 address typically would look like in the language of zeros and ones. Okay. So you have 8 zeros and then a dot, then another, sorry, not zeros, 8 zeros or ones, then a dot, then another 8 zeros or ones, then another 8 zeros and ones, and then another 8 zeros and ones. And each of these octets is separated by a dot symbol. Okay. Now, what you see here is also commonly known as the binary language, language of zeros and ones, because there are only 2 characters in it. But what we humans regularly use or understand are decimal numbers. Okay, so let's talk about how do you convert any binary number to a human readable decimal number. So this number 11000000 is actually equal to 192. This number 10101000 is actually equal to 168. This number with all zeros is simply 0. And this number with 00001010 is actually equal to 10. So we'll be learning how do we convert any of these binary numbers to decimal numbers. Okay. Right. Talking about the conversions now. So whenever you want to convert any binary number, let's take the example of this number here, 10101010. Now, if I had to convert this number, there are two simple steps to this. Step number one is you assign the values of 2 power 0 all the way up to 2 power 7 from right to left. So under each bit, you're writing down these values, starting at 2 power 0 and going all the way up to 2 power 7. Okay. If you have a question, why specifically 2 power? It's a binary number. There are only two possibilities, zeros or ones. Okay. And once those values are written down, you multiply the lower value with the top bit and you add it with the next one. So 2 power 0 into 0 plus 2 power 1 into 1 plus 2 power 2 into 0 plus 2 power 3 into 1 plus 2 power 4 into 0 plus 2 power 5 into 1 plus 2 power 6 into 0 plus 2 power 7 into 1. Okay. Now to calculate these values, we need to know the answers for these numbers. So anything to the power 0 is always equal to 1. So 2 power 0 is 1. 2 power 1 is 2 itself. 2 power 2 is 2 into 2, that's 4. 2 power 3 is 2 into 2 into 2, that's 8. 2 power 4 is 16. 2 power 5 is 32. 2 power 6 is 64. And 2 power 7 is 128. Okay. Once we have these values now, we can substitute it here. 2 power 0 into 0, that's simply 0. 2 power 1 into 1, 2 power 1 is 2. So 2 into 1, that's 2. 2 power 2 into 0, 0 again. 2 power 3 into 1, that's 8. 2 power 4 into 0, 0 again. 2 power 5 into 1, 32. 2 power 6 into 0, 0 again. 2 power 7 into 1, 128. Okay. And if you add all this up now, 128 plus 32, that's 160. 160 plus 8, 168. 168 plus 2, 170. So when we humans read the number 170, the computer reads it as 10101010. Something like high frequency, low frequency, high frequency, low frequency, high, low, high, low. So when that exact pattern of frequencies flows through a computer, it understands it in the human readable language. Okay. So this is how you would convert any binary number to a decimal number. Now you might have a question, why am I explaining all this? So the explanation for this is to understand what's the first IP and what's the last IP. Now if I had to get the first IP, simple rule would be to put all zeros everywhere in every octet. So when I put all zeros everywhere, first IP would simply be 0 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0. Okay. And if I had to get the last IP, what do I have to do? I have to put all ones everywhere, the maximum number. And when I put all ones, you would get the number as 255. Okay. You can calculate that yourself as well. Okay. But you would get the number 255. So the last IP would be 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 255. Okay. So your entire IPv4 addresses would range between the number 0 and 255 in any of these octets. They would never be able to bypass or cross over 255 because the maximum you can obtain in an octet with all ones is 255 itself. Okay. So that's the entire range of IP addresses. Okay. Now this entire range again of IP addresses are again I also explained the sequence in the upcoming sessions. This entire range now has a few properties and a few classifications in it. So there are separate classes, there are separate public and private IPs. So this is something which we have to cover. Okay. But we'll hold on for this for the upcoming sessions. Once the others join, we'll resume all this as well. Okay. But for now, this is a brief intro on what IP addresses are and how do you calculate an IP address and what is the range of an IP address. Right? And these are the same IP addresses used in your local home networks or in multinational companies as well. Okay. And again, there are multiple classifications in them. There's multiple important protocols to know. What is DNS protocol? What is DHCP protocol? How do you assign a private IP to each system? How does DNS servers work? Okay. And what are special IPs? So these are all the remaining topics left out in networking. But yeah, we'll be covering all this in the upcoming sessions once the others join. Okay. So this is a brief intro, Akash, to give you an explanation on what the course would look like and again, how the classes would go on. Okay. But yeah, it's going to be a lot more interesting than this because this is just a theory topic. Once we progress into our upcoming session, it gets a lot more practical and a lot more fun as well. Right. So if you have any questions also, you can ask me those questions today, Akash. Any Q&A session can be held. Your mic is unmuted, but I can't hear you.
Hello.
Oh yeah, now I can hear you, Akash.
No, sir. There is no other questions.
Okay, Akash. So again, as mentioned, the class is gonna start again once the demo is complete, and it's for a duration of 35 days. As mentioned, classes from Monday to Friday, every day for 1 hour each. Since these are just demos, I'm taking slightly shorter sessions, but the actual classes would be from 45 minutes to 1 hour at least. Okay. And the price is 8,000 as discussed already. And you can contact the institute for any payment related details. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that's that. We'll connect back later and we'll see if the others join. We'll be continuing this at the same batch timing, Akash. If there's no other students, we might shift it 1 hour earlier or 1 hour later, again, depending on the traffic, whichever is better for the students to attend the time slot being. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that's that. We can exit the session here. Bye bye. Have a good day,
Bye
Akash.
bye. Thank you.